your journey to being so passionate about digital health and transformation in healthcare, and how did that come to be?
Yeah, well, my journey into health started back when I was at university and I was taking a life sciences degree. And like most 20-something-year-olds, you're kind of like, okay, now what? Mm-hmm. And I happened to have a few roles, summer jobs, working as a personal support worker, and then also as a volunteer coordinator at a hospital. And I happened to be a respiratory therapist. And, I had no idea that there was other careers, now known as allied health professions, beyond medicine. And so I became interested in that, and I went on to pursue that as my first step of professional degree in healthcare. And then through there, started wondering a lot about decision making, how things happen, how do you have impact, how do you build community, how do you make change, beyond care at the bedside, wondering about how the systems work. Technology was starting to become adopted into hospitals at that time through hospital information systems. Digitization was just beginning. And I had an opportunity to work with other nursing professionals trying to think about electronic documentation, etc. And that's how I sort of stepped into the change management world. And from that, thinking about how do we want people to behave differently? What's the impact? Why should they care? What's the outcome? How is life going to be different? And then backing that up with all the steps that I need to get someone to behave differently. I really started to pull on those, my passion for change management, and had an opportunity to work within the Ministry of Health on a project which was then known as the start of an electronic referral system. I don't think it's still there, but there's lots of innovation happening in that way. That's kind of how I stepped into it. And then I moved from a provincial role into a national role, working for one of the Pan-Canadian health organizations. And being able to come up, to a 50,000 foot view and see what's happening in all of the different provinces and territories was like brain candy, and really started to inspire me to say, even though I'm not at the bedside anymore and we're working systems level up, there's still huge opportunity to help share information and knowledge, what innovation and what people are doing well in one area or jurisdiction, you can share it to someone else. Because the people at the coalface are heads down, busy trying to get the work done, and they don't always get to see what those opportunities and learnings are. So that really started to the ability to connect people, to connect ideas, to see what the bigger picture could be, connected back down to my experiences from the front line, really started to motivate me in terms of transformation. And that I mentioned already, my work with Digital Health Canada, as I kind of figured out, what is this thing, this digital health thing, gave me a sense of confidence, it gave me peers to lean on, and the rest, as they say, is history. I just continued forward from there.
It's interesting. I can relate, and I can find myself in your story quite a bit. So I also started, in a nursing home as a recreation therapist and nursing and so on, and bedside, and then thinking forward to what else is out there. So by the way, your story is extremely inspiring and fascinating. And it's also a tale of how, as a professional and as an individual, we can progress in our careers and grow and experience different things as long as you have the curiosity and the imagination, the grit and the perseverance.
Yeah,
and
that's a good word.
I assume, and that your passion towards learning is the biggest push forward to.
I think so. I'm always curious to use that word that you provided. Curious to learn more, to see how things fit, but integrating ideas, building from them. When I was a university student and later in school for respiratory therapy, I wouldn't have told you that I was passionate about learning. At those earlier days where you're kind of in the slog of it all. But once you get going and you have a chance to apply it and see how things work and where challenges are, then yes, learning became such a passion because you want to understand more, you want to do better, you want to learn what other people know. You're looking to build mastery, right? And so, and gain confidence and then be able to demonstrate that for others. So that becomes a bit of a pull forward for sure.